Because of what we see going on in our country right now, I have a real tangible fear that we're heading straight towards fascism. We're heading straight towards dictatorship. We're heading straight towards a deep state of intelligence idiots that we don't even know who they are running every aspect of our lives. And you're from Venezuela, and I think you've got a unique perspective that can maybe show us where we're headed if we're not careful. We had an election in Venezuela recently. Tell me about that election. Was it a real election? And tell me about the guy who won again.
So Maduro won again, but he actually didn't win. It was a fraudulent election. He just basically controls it at the box. In other words, people pretend that they actually vote. They thump their finger on ink.
Yeah.
So they actually can't do it again once they vote. But when they count the votes, they make it to where Maduro is the only one that wins the votes. In other words, they even make up votes.
Yeah. Well, what you just said is reminiscent of what they did in Iraq to prove, hey, Saddam Hussein is gone and your vote is going to count and people can't vote more than once. But what you're saying was that was basically theater. But, stick your finger in the ink and look, your vote counts, and it really didn't.
Yes, absolutely. And they also let dead people vote. They also let illegals vote. In other words, if someone is born in Colombia and they are in Venezuela, they can vote even though they're not supposed to.
Wow.
It's very reminiscent of the way the left behaves here.
Can you tell me how it got that way? I know you're from Venezuela. You're a proud American, one of the proudest Americans I know. But I mean, what was it like before? Was it a democracy? Was it a representative republic? Were there real elections? And how did we get here?
Yeah, it was a representative republic with two main political parties, one on the center right, the other one on center left.
Yeah.
And what happened was people just became very discouraged by both parties. And actually the conservative right party self-destructed, which caused a vacuum. And that is how Hugo Chavez came into power.
What were his promises?
His promises were that he was going to make Venezuela prosperous. It was actually going through a little bit of a turmoil with the banking system and all of that. But your typical what countries that are prosperous typically go through in a cycle.
Yeah.
And so then he came in and he said he was going to be a politician, not as usual. He ran on the mantra of hope and change.
Heard that before.
People believed him. But what I really want to get to, Joe, if you don't mind, is the left in Venezuela acts exactly like the left here. And the reason that people are eating dogs, killing each other, and just complete havoc is because the left, which is a very, very evil ideology, basically took over that country. And because they did that, Venezuela is where it is today. They allowed the left to control it.
Well, I'm glad you made that connection, because the video that I've seen from there, people can get out of there, and it's not easy to get any video out of there showing what's really happening. There appears to be a civilian force that is in conjunction with the government that's basically the hit squad. They'll go out and kill you if you ask for too much bread in the bread line, or they'll kill you if you dare speak out against Maduro. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, they're kind of the equivalent of Antifa.
Yeah.
If you want to compare them.
Right.
Yeah, they're thugs. Most of them are convicted criminals that did horrific crimes, rapes, murders. They were let out by Hugo Chavez. He gave them arms. He actually took away arms from the people, and gave it to these people who work in conjunction with the government, with the police, and they just kind of go around and shoot anybody that is showing the Constitution, because most of the time these people are peacefully assembling, praying. They pray. Imagine that. The people on the right pray. The people on the left pray to Satan. And I mean, it happens here too, and so the people on the right there are constitutional, loving patriots. The people on the left are thugs. And not only that, but they also say that it's the right who is the liar. It's
Well,
the
I've got to ask you this. The other day, is Debbie D'Souza, who's from Venezuela, a great, very patriotic American. You've got to listen to her sing "God Bless America" in Hillary's America, Dinesh's recent movie. Amazing, just gives me chills every time. You're an amazing singer. But the other day when we were talking, you said Hugo Chavez was bad, really bad. Then you said Maduro's worse. How's that possible?
Well, Maduro is a former bus driver. He was actually Hugo Chavez's vice president,
Okay.
but he has no schooling whatsoever. Hugo Chavez was intelligent. He was evil, but he was intelligent. But you have Maduro, who is evil and stupid. So
it's a bad combination. It's a very bad combination. It just is. And last on this, because I want to bring Dinesh in on Antifa, which you brought up, and the far extreme left. But the last question on Venezuela is, you and I spoke about this. The people there want this to stop. They want to get control of their country again. They want it again to be a democracy, a representative republic. They want it again to prosper and be great.
yes.
Is there any hope of that happening? I mean, can they do it? Can they join together? They're going to need outside help. What should happen here? Because I know that you spoke with the government here.
Yeah, I did. I think they need outside help. They need our help. They need some of the South American friends' help to get Maduro out, because I don't think it's going to end well if he continues.